All right. So let's get into this next topic. This next topic is actually about our boy Sleepy Joe Biden. Yeah. So obviously the talk of the town right now has been dealing with Biden and this political this debt ceiling and everything right now. So we have someone will meet who he is. I'm not exactly sure who this is. Maybe I'm being ignorant, and everything like that. So we'll definitely see who he is. And he's basically saying that not Donald Trump, Joe Biden is going to be in a bind if this debt ceiling doesn't raise. I'm not sure if that's because he has a lot of programs, a lot of promises maybe that he made that he needs to kind of fulfill before he's trying to run for election. I don't know, but let's see what he's got to say. And as we know, there's probably going to be an ad that pops up first thing. Yep. Gotta turn this down. Last time I had an ad, I was dancing to the music and they hit me with a copyright. I was like, ah. But I hope you're all having a beautiful Joe Biden day. A beautiful Biden day. Or what, a terrible Trump day. And as you guys know, I'm definitely more of a Trump supporter than Biden. But yeah, hope you guys are all having a beautiful Biden day because we're talking about Joe Biden right now. Now let's get into this, people.
Our next guest recently wrote an op-ed on why he's changed his mind about the debt limit. Harvard Law School professor emeritus and constitutional law scholar Larry Tribe is with us. Larry, thank you so much for the time. It's great to see you.
So he's a Harvard law professor.
Your op-ed made huge waves in which you basically ask whether or not there can be an arbitrary dollar limit on spending. You think the answer is no. I wonder if you think this has made any headway in your piece about the discussion.
Well, I don't know for sure because I'm not talking daily to the president, of course. But during his press conference after meeting with Kevin McCarthy, he said that he had considered my views and was taking them into account. He's not ready to necessarily agree that the 14th Amendment requires him to meet all of our debts regardless of the debt ceiling, but he's considering it. And I think that's right because I've looked at it very closely, and I've concluded that if Congress fails to do its job and raise the $31.4 trillion ceiling, at that point, the president will be boxed in. There is nothing he'll be able to do that doesn't involve violating some law that Congress has passed. Either he violates the law that arbitrarily sets the ceiling, that's codified in Title 31 in Section 3101, or he violates the laws that Congress also passed that require him to spend money on various programs in violation also of the 14th Amendment.
Right.
And there is a unanimous...
That's very interesting, guys. That's very interesting. So essentially, he's basically saying if Biden doesn't, it kind of sounds almost like a lose-lose. But it kind of sounds like, to me, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, it sounds like he's pretty much saying that if Biden doesn't get this money, he'll be in violation because there's a bunch of programs that the United States was already supposed to pay for, which they won't be able to pay for because the Biden administration doesn't have the money. And it also sounds like he's saying that, let me see, I'm not sure exactly what the 14th Amendment exactly says. Let me see here. 14th Amendment. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. It's from debt. All right, let's see. No state shall deny it to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protections of the laws. So my law guys, I'm gonna need some help with this one because I don't necessarily. I guess is that saying he won't have the money to equally, get out the programs and everything that he would need, so that would be a violation? Let me know. Let's hear what he has to say a little bit more because I need some elaboration. I'm a tad bit confused.
Unanimous Supreme Court decision, a decision called Train versus City of New York in 1975, that says that when Congress has required the president to spend money on various programs, in that case it was on a clean water program, he must do so. So if you've got to choose between violating all of the laws that Congress passed for Social Security and military spending and other kinds of spending, or violating that one arbitrary debt ceiling, it's obvious which choice he ought to make, and that is violate that one law. And I must say
So it
that
is a
there are a
lose-lose
number of
situation.
commentators who have just stated the law incorrectly. They've said the president will then have no borrowing authority. That's not true. His borrowing authority, which is also in Title 31, comes from a group of other sections of the law, sections 3102 through 3106. Those are the ones that authorize borrowing. They will still be in place, even if we have hit the ceiling, which is in a separate law, section 3101. So technically, and I know that you guys are used to getting into the nuts and bolts, technically he will be borrowing with the authority of Congress. It's just that Congress's instructions that he has to stop borrowing at a certain point, those have to be disregarded so he can pay our bills.
Right. You write at the end of this piece, it's actually a chilling line.
So it's very interesting. And basically, it seems like the Biden administration really doesn't have a lot of money to work with. So they're going to have to break either one of two rules. Like he said, basically, either these civil liberties given by the 14th Amendment, they wouldn't be able to pay these off, which, so his options are to either cut those, which would be against the 14th Amendment. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Or, trying to put this in as simplest terms as I believe as I'm taking this information in, he will either have to cut those or he can implement those, but he'll have to be requesting more money from Congress, which will also be an L as well. Now, they're saying he's justified in asking for that. So he's either going to have to, take the L by increasing the debt ceiling and breaking policy there, or he's going to have to take the L by not increasing the debt ceiling and also cutting these programs that are supposed to be the rights of the American people. So it's like either side is an L, and it seems like clearly he's saying that that Biden should take the L and just, borrow more money, even if the debt ceiling, is, even if it's over what, is supposed to be involved with the debt ceiling.
The only way out of this forest is through the trees, and certainly in this kind of scenario, we would be monitoring the market's reaction to this legal fight. How quickly could this be settled, if it can get settled?
Well, it could be settled quite quickly because there is a lawsuit already pending naming the president and the secretary of the Treasury as defendants. It's brought by 75,000 federal employees whose jobs are on the line because it's not clear that the president is going to follow the path that I've described. That case could shoot right up to the U.S. Supreme Court very quickly. And this is not one on which you would expect conservatives and liberals necessarily to split in the usual way. The court is likely to favor the conservative path of paying our debts. And it might achieve that by saying, you guys have to work it out rather than working it out itself. But if Congress leaves it to the president to pick and choose who are the winners and who are the losers, that is, which debts to pay, that is an unconstitutional line item veto. So the only constitutional way through this forest is right through the trees, and the trees really have to be taken care of. That is, we have to pay our bills.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, it seems like Joe Biden is definitely in a sticky situation. Do you guys think this is a situation the Biden administration just got themselves into by, I don't know, maybe giving too much money away or the way that things are allocated? But I would assume, if it's constitutional for, these certain government entities, like he said, Social Security, to get paid and have their money and everything like that, I would have thought that money would have already been put to the side and there would have already been accounts for it, and that wouldn't have necessarily gone into the pool of money. I would have assumed that would have been like out of the jurisdiction, kind of like there's the extra money that can be used for things like giving to Ukraine, but things like Social Security, national infrastructure and stuff like that, I would have assumed that all of those had been paid. So Let me know what type of decision you guys think Joe Biden's going to make. Obviously, like he said, the best decision for him to probably do is to pay his bills, to pay these American workers, keep these programs going and everything like that, and then deal with the debt ceiling getting higher. And as we know, this is how the debt ceiling gets higher and higher and higher into what seems like a never-ending loop where this debt will never get paid off, because let's be real, it's probably not getting paid off. But let me know let me know about this, guys. If there's anything I missed, definitely let me know. Or if there's anything that of value that you can definitely add to the table, let me know. Also, how do you guys think this is going to affect his presidency? Let's say he's not able to pay these American workers and everything like that. That's going to be a really bad look going into his presidency, everything, like that. People are going to be like, well, I was getting paid when Trump was here. I was still getting Social Security when Trump was here. I was still getting my, my EBT, and everything like that while Trump was here. So that could be a really bad look for Biden. Either way, it's an LL situation. So this was very interesting to see, and we're definitely going to cover how Biden actually ends up, handling this in the future. And as he already said, a case has already been opened up, so we're definitely going to get into that.